This Saturday night, we might see the debut of the newest Cruiserweight contender. He's making his debut below 200 pounds for the first time in his career. Fast Eddie Chambers is going to be taking on Thabiso Mchunu in the main event of NBC Sports Network Fight Night, and he joins us on the line right now. Eddie, it's the first time you're beneath 200 in your pro career. Do you feel like a new fighter in there so far during training?
I've always been in great shape. Regardless of the look, I've always done things right as far as conditioning. The look has been, just a lack of dieting the proper way. And now that I've added that, sky's the limit. I can, I don't want to say the sky's the limit, not for weight loss, because you don't want to feel weak when you go in there. But it's really just, I don't know. It's really not that big of a deal. The real reason for me to do it was not just because of conditioning. It was more because the heavyweight division right now, it's kind of jammed up. You got the Klitschko brothers. Those guys are really, really big. You know what I mean? And not to say that I can't compete with those guys, because I could. I've already done one, even though I lost the fight. It's just about game planning, going in and knowing what to do, and I don't think I had the proper one when I went in. So it's more of trying to shake it up, doing things that I should have done earlier in my career. Go down here and try to reign as a Cruiserweight champion and then come up.
Now, your opponent, Thabiso Mchunu, is perhaps the most ignorant person I've ever seen on Twitter. He's been throwing a whole bunch of homophobic slurs and racial slurs at you. Has any of that got underneath your skin so far?
No, I don't. This is all with these guys. They want to draw attention to themselves. You know what I mean? Get a little interest in trying to become popular in other ways than just fighting in the ring. And I have nothing against them. You know what I mean? I say, okay, go ahead, do your thing. It doesn't bother me, though, because at the end of the day, you got to get in that ring and fight. And if you can't fight good enough to keep yourself warm, it's going to come out. And I'm going to definitely exploit that. So he can say everything he wants, but at the end of the day, it's going to turn. We're going to see what he does in the ring. And if he can do it in the ring, hey, more power to him. But you've got to be able to back it up. When I say things, I speak the truth. I don't generally just go out talking out of my behind, you know what I mean, or talking out of my neck, let's say. And I just say what I believe is to be true, not talking stuff, not to condemn anyone's skill level or blah, 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 but it's just I speak the truth. He wants to talk and say all this other little stuff, fantasy stuff he has going on, and that's fine. Enjoy yourself, because this may be the only opportunity you have to be on this level.
Now, the one thing we do know about Mchunu is that he is a southpaw, and perhaps that could be tricky, but then again, against Tomas Adamek, you fought the whole fight as a one-handed southpaw, so you should know exactly what he's going to be doing in there.
Exactly. And being able to, adjust like that. You know what I mean? Like you tear your left arm, your left bicep, which was the biggest part of my game in training for the fight with Adamek, and I tore the bicep in the first round. So now that's like, okay, well now you don't have your most important weapon. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to figure out to do something else. And I've always thought, and this is something that I never really did. I practiced southpaw, yeah, but I never really worked on exactly what I would do if I tore my left arm. And it's funny because even as a southpaw, I used my left hand, my straight left hand a lot. And what happened was I didn't have it. So now I got to figure out a way to get my right hand and even try to throw combinations in some sense with it. Because, it's very difficult to, win a fight with one hand, obviously, when you got another guy who's busy. So you got to find a way to stay active. So I had to go from throwing right hand in the right hand, from a counter right hand in the right hand instead, to a southpaw jab, to make it almost in a combination fashion, and then get me on an odd angle so that he couldn't return. So there's a lot of little things that went on to it. Just the fact that I was able to adjust shows the level of experience that my opponent will be facing come August 3rd.
Now, that was certainly an impressive performance against Adamek, even coming close to beating him with one arm, even though I felt you probably deserved the decision on that night. But I do think the most impressive moment of your career, Eddie, when the NBC cameras were following you around in Detroit, and they took you to Coney Island, and you didn't eat a Coney Island hot dog. That's when I knew this guy was serious about his conditioning.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? They almost put a gun in my head to force me to take a bite of it, man. No, but honestly, my diet is very, very clean, and I try to stay away from those things. As you've seen over my career, man, my physique has never been Holyfield-esque. So we're gonna try to be as critical about what I put in my body. I mean, just the way I eat and the way I take in and the way I live. It's a lifestyle change, and me being an athlete, it just helps that 100% more.
Well, thanks a lot, Eddie, and we look forward to seeing you in the ring as a cruiserweight this Saturday on NBC Sports Network.
My man.